Daddy gang, can you hear me? Hello, it is the Alexandra Cooper, and I am sitting with what I would consider the ultimate daddy.
Yes,
bitch.
Under a disco tree.
You're not supposed to talk yet.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine.
My
I'm
first
just kidding. You
podcast.
can talk, but no, it's fine. Guys, introducing Miley fucking Cyrus.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for coming to my house. Thank you for sitting under the disco tree.
I'm just feeling kind of like vibes right now.
Oh, it's vibey.
Well, to our right, Miley and I have penises.
Two penises. So before you got here, I ran into my living room. One, I think everyone in my house got a little scared when I was like, oh, I have dildos. I should put them on the table. They're like inappropriate. Don't do that. But they're not quite dildos. They've never been used.
No.
For what?
Listen,
not by me anyway.
This is the Call Her Daddy podcast. It would be okay if people were like having sex behind us. Like we live for anything sexual.
This is like
so this is good.
The safer platform for me. That's why I'm not doing much press besides this.
Okay, perfect.
This is the only place that is probably appropriate.
Right. Because I'll take it too far and then you can like bring it down, which is like maybe a little different for you than normal.
That's different.
Okay,
yeah.
we love this. So, the fucking song. Let me tell you a little story. Okay. So I'm sitting in my hotel room and Kelly, the woman that's here with me in LA, is like, I'm going to play you Miley's song. We're going to get you to play Miley's song. And I'm like, I have never in my life, if you had told me that I was going to be listening to your song early release, I'm like, what is my life? I'm a fucking loser from Pennsylvania. Like, what's happening? I listened to the song before the eyes of whoever played it for me on your team and Kelly. I have an orgasm. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh.
I am like wet listening to your song.
Yes.
Miley, Midnight Sky.
Yes.
Tell us about it. It's iconic. I'm
So,
sorry, but like I'm getting excited for you.
Midnight Sky, I'm like very, very into. I mean, kind of throughout my career, I've felt like I've been able to introduce my fans to music they may not know, like whether it's sitting in this backyard and covering Jolene for backyard sessions or playing like. I have this really funny video that I love of playing Smells Like Teen Spirit when I was on the Hannah Montana tour, and like all the kids were really upset about it and weren't digging it at all. And
They're like, Miley, what are you saying?
Yeah, 4 random moms were kind of singing along. Also, I was yelling my libido while all these children, it was like a whole thing. And so I felt like I always do these covers, but I wanted one of my own. I wanted a song that felt classic. I wanted a song that felt like it was from the era of which I usually pull my inspiration from, but like really not being afraid, really being unapologetic about the tone, the sonics, the lyrics. And as you and I were watching the video and we started talking about, I think it's really special how having this kind of like anthemic, you know, kind of pansexual, bisexual anthem of this song that like plays with gender roles. And it's like unapologetically saying in the chorus like my lips on her mouth, and then he's got his hands on my waist, and like there's just not songs for people that can identify with like these lyrics. And so I just thought that it was a really empowering thing for me and then for my listeners, because I just felt like it was a song that felt really honest. And then when you and I were watching the video and talking about like how the video kind of just like captured my spirit, and I felt like that hasn't really happened before. I felt the same way about the video. I felt like that was like me in my most authentic form. And so it just feels very like celebratory right now. I just feel that's what we were talking about, like how I feel like I'm really just thriving.
Yes, she's thriving. She's thriving. When I heard you, like the lyric about like you kissing her on her mouth, I was like, fuck yes, queen, because so many people that listen to my podcast are fucking terrified about embracing who they are, because you're fortunate that like I want to talk to you a little bit about you like realizing your sexuality, and I know that you're very open about like you love everything and you're not putting yourself in a box, but some people don't live in LA or have parents that would be supportive, and they're fucking terrified. And I feel like this song is just changing the game, because it's like you're talking about a woman, you're talking about a man, and it's normal, and it's coming from Miley Cyrus, so you can fucking listen to it, and you can kiss a woman and you can kiss a man, and it's fucking fine.
And I like the idea that you kind of say it's normal, because I really think that normalization is like the first step to just feeling like fully that acceptance. And I think like not just for it to feel normal from the outside, but feeling like comfortable to you and normal to you. And so yeah, it was just like definitely writing it in the studio, even with, you know, some of my like peers, trying to kind of explain that to them why it was important, because they were like, isn't it kind of confusing? You know, like the pop structure is that the chorus says the same thing every time. So it like gets burned into your brain. So when you're at a concert and people get wasted, they're never like, wait, what does she say there? You really want it. There's like a formula. You know, I think everyone, whether you make pop music or not, know that there's like a pop formula. And this really goes against that by having this like gender swap in lyrics, because it, you know, in a way, it's challenging the system and challenging structure, which is what I always do.
When I heard I was born to run, I don't belong to anyone, I was like, good night, goodbye, hello, welcome to Call Her Daddy. That's literally like everything I try to tell anyone that listens to this podcast. I'm like, you belong to yourself and you can do whatever the fuck you want and you don't have to apologize for anything. And that lyric, I'm like, oh my God, Miley, like you fucking hit it.
And I was kind of thinking about that today, like even getting ready, because like before you got here, I had on my hoodie and like I had on my sweatshirt.
Oh my God, I'm a hoodie queen.
I had on my fucking leggings.
And now she has her tits out.
Now I got exactly. That was my next step.
What made you change?
Okay, so you were coming here and I was sitting like in my kitchen doing all my, I was kind of thinking about like what I would want to say, because like I usually don't have this freedom just to like really talk. That's one thing that I'm learning that I do dig about podcasts. It's like you can really actually get into it.
Yeah.
And sometimes like I do feel like on shows you got such a quick amount of time and like you're so censored that I don't always get out my full thought. So to my full thought is I was sitting in my leggings, my sweatshirt, and like really working, and then knowing you were coming here, I went and like got ready and I did my makeup in like 15 minutes, got everything done in 15 minutes. And I realized like something that I thought would be important to say was that I wasn't getting dressed for you, and I wasn't getting dressed for like someone to think that I look sexy. I was getting dressed for me. And I think that's something that's different now that I'm a little bit older, that changed. Like I think maybe that happened like through my last breakup. I feel like maybe since I was like 26, only in the last year have I felt like I always am doing what I want for me, because I don't think that there's been a period, which like I know isn't the most relatable thing to say, but there hasn't really been a period for me where I felt like super insecure with my sexuality. Like I've just been that way. Like I used to strip naked, completely naked in a Cracker Barrel when I was age of 3 and like roll around on the ground.
Oh
so that's
God,
just like that's just like who I am.
we love that. And America loved it when you did it more on like TV.
Oh yeah, so they loved that. They loved that. So I was thinking about like, I guess in the last year has been really transformative, and we were talking about on the couch before we started just about like how I felt like this self-realization period that's going on kind of universally and culturally. I kind of started having that like over the past 2 years through a little bit of trauma, like physical, like my house burning down was like basically one of the most transformative periods of my life.
I can't even imagine.
Going through a massive breakup. And I just feel like one thing that I gained through all the loss is an idea that what I do is for me. And that doesn't mean that you're selfish. And that comes from like a lot of the guilt that you and I were talking about before we started this podcast also about like how much guilt that I feel like I've always had about feeling like I know how fortunate I am, and I don't really feel comfortable with that. I don't feel comfortable with my privilege. And I think the only way through it has been through a little bit of trauma. And
I just want to say, first of all, that's like the most beautiful thing, because like honestly, coming to your house, I had no fucking clue what to expect. I'm like, I'm about to meet Miley Cyrus. Like, of course I watched Hannah Montana. Are you fucking kidding me? I made embarrassing music videos pretending to be you when I was younger. And then now as the Call Her Daddy host, I'm so excited to meet the woman that is so sexually liberated and is like an icon for our generation. And I had no idea, like, and I was fully prepared to walk in and be like, hi, like, Kay, sit down, like, let's have a conversation. You are like so normal. And yet you're so not normal, but you're normal. And I think that you saying like you've been through trauma and you're finally for the first time in your life like really like I'm going to do everything for myself. That is so fucking beautiful, because that kind of shows me no matter how famous you are or whoever is listening in like Nebraska, everyone has to have that one period in their life where they're like, fuck, am I doing this for a guy, a girl? Am I doing this for someone else other than me? And then you got to find a fucking way, whether it's through trauma. Yeah, it fucking sucked then, but don't you kind of feel like, oh my God, fuck, it was meant to be, because look where I am now.
I'm so thankful that all that happened. And yeah, now I think I don't know why that popped into my brain when I was like getting ready, but like I was putting on my little kitten heel.
Yeah, you look amazing.
I was putting on my shit and I'm like, it's honestly for me.
Yeah.
And like I have a lot of guilt just in I just have, since I was little, like I don't know, things have been very easy for me.
Yeah.
Like I've always been, if I've tried something once, I could do it.
Right.
And I know that's not the same for everybody. And I don't know why it's that way for me. And so I had a really hard time accepting that. And I don't like for things to be easy. I like to work hard.
Right.
So I'm one of those people that if I couldn't do it first time, I'd do it 100 times until I could. But I've never really had
to do that.
The only time that I have really had that experience of just trying to do something that wasn't meant for me or not going to work is in relationships.
That's
and
so
like
crazy.
I think I had a big fear of being alone because I'm always surrounded by people. So like my idea of what's it like to be surrounded by people, it's not surrounded by friends, like 15 people. It's like 15,000 people.
Right.
And so the idea of how drastic it goes from being full to being empty is just like really dramatic. And so there was just like a lot of fear, a lot of guilt. But yes, I love therapy.
But and we were literally talking before the podcast. We're like, so I was like, are you in therapy? I'm like, who asks you that? But I'm like, I love therapy. Do you like therapy?
It's the fucking
Miley's
best.
like, I fucking love it.
It's the best.
I think that's really beautiful though, that you have enough like self-reflection to be like, what am I not having success in? And it is relationships. And I can't help but be like, Miley, like you literally have been so famous since you were how young. And then like to find, it's almost like you're now getting to be like, okay, what do I want to do with my life? Because you went for so fucking long performing in front of so many people, pleasing so many people. And now it's like, wait, what makes you happy?
That's actually a really interesting perspective because I never really thought about it that way. And I guess that is kind of, maybe I'm at the age where that would be like getting out of college, starting your first. I mean, most people will be starting their lives now. And I feel like I'm kind of in that like midlife success place and like, or even like beyond the finish line. And there's actually something kind of about, I've read about a lot of athletes that have, it's called winner's blues.
Oh,
and it's when you felt too much of like the dopamine and success and the rush that crash is just so harsh.
Trust me and athletes on this podcast we talk about all the time. It's kind of a joke, but like I like to hook up with athletes. And I always say their life is so hard because it kind of ends at like 30, 40, their career. And then it's like, what do you do?
And it can happen the same thing, especially for like females in pop music. There's so much like ageism and sexism that I think it's just, you know, you get feeling like, I just think it's a really good perspective to say, oh, my life is kind of starting now and I'm at a point where I get to decide what do I want to do with it. And that's what you would be doing if you had been spending years in college or spending years as an intern or lower on the kind of like ranking of your job, that now you're at a place where you're like 27, 28, 29, 30, where you get to go, okay, like what am I going to do with all the skills that I've collected.
Well, can I ask you, because like, listen, everyone, I think it was the most iconic moment when like you were Hannah Montana, and I know probably for a while you were like, I don't even want to hear that fucking name for a minute, because like, kindly shut the fuck up. My name is Miley Cyrus. The Bangers era, when all of a sudden it was like you took everything to the fucking max, and you were like, this is my clit nipple, and we're ready to roll. Everybody watch me twerk everywhere, and it was iconic, but it was almost like you were trying to break away from the Disney thing. And when you look back on the era, what does it make you feel?
What's so weird about that is also that was for me. And like, just like getting, I guess that's the full circle of my story that I was trying to get to, was basically, I mean, I was wondering why I wanted to tell you that, but I guess that is why, because it's so relevant in my career. Like, I never thought, I really, really don't care what anyone else is really doing with their life as long as they're being like a good person. And to me, I just still can't believe that people care so much about what I'm doing. But in the times where I want them to, like when I'm rallying people to fight injustices or trying to normalize like my LGBTQ community that I'm proud to be a part of, when it comes to that, I'm happy that I have the attention that I do, and it's not something that you get to turn on and off. It doesn't come with a switch. And so I am really happy that people are so interested and intrigued by me and my choices in my life, because that means that I really do have a loud, platform.
Yeah, you have a voice.
But I definitely think that VMA's 2013 era was kind of an awakening. And I guess I'm just going through round 2 right now.
Yeah, but it was like the first one was like, I mean, obviously, when did you realize like, oh, I'm not just attracted to men? Like, how young were you?
I was attracted to girls way before I ever was attracted to guys.
Okay.
Like when I was like 11 years old, I used to
Love it.
think that like Minnie Mouse was super fucking hot, and like
Wait, that is such a specific.
Minnie, which is so good. I ended up on Disney, so my chances with Minnie went up by
oh
like
my
100.
God, you're like Minnie, me, let's fuck.
Yeah, she
Like,
was super
Miley?
hot to me. I always thought that the female characters in movies were way hotter than any of the guys.
Oh,
I actually
yeah.
never really understood what these girls were doing with these like idiots.
Right,
like, a
you're
lot
like,
of the
what, that
time.
penis is disgusting. Come this way.
So yeah, so that was kind of it. And then like, yeah, when I was like 11 or 12, my friends were starting to kind of like tell me what they were doing with guys, and I didn't really understand it. So I got most of my girlfriends to hook up with me.
That is such an amazing.
The first time I ever hooked up with anyone was with the girl.
Was a girl.
2 of them.
And did you go past first base?
Yeah.
Oh, Miley's
yeah.
like, of course. Oh my
Yeah.
God, absolutely. Okay, and then when did you hook up with a guy?
I hooked up with. Well, I didn't go all the way with the dude. I was 16.
It wasn't Nick Jonas.
And it wasn't Nick Jonas, but I ended up marrying the guy.
Oh my God.
So that's pretty crazy.
So that's the first guy you hooked up with.
Yeah, which I lied and said that he wasn't the first, so I didn't seem like a loser.
Okay, but now you're telling
It's
the truth.
such more of a full circle story. It's so fucking weird because I couldn't think of anyone. He was like, oh, who have you had sex with? And I couldn't think of anyone, so I just like made somebody up that I
Right.
knew, but we had never actually had sex before. And then
Right.
like his friend ended up marrying him, and so then it was like, oh, now my friend is marrying someone you've hooked up with. So then when I was like 24, I had to say that I lied when I was
You're like,
16.
so that was a full blown lie.
Yeah.
You're actually
it was
my
a lie that
first.
I held on to for like 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then once you're kind of stuck in a lie, like you're kind of fucked.
Oh yeah, then I was like, no reason to like dig old bones
Yeah.
up. Like,
But then you're like, okay, this is directly affecting our life, so I'll tell you.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That was so weird when it directly affected
You're like,
my
how
life.
the fuck did this happen?
It's so
You're like, I picked
that's
a
why
random.
I think that everything's pre-programmed in this world.
It's supposed to happen. Like what's meant to be will be.
Yeah.
Do you have like a type? I know like you're attracted to people's souls, like you're attracted to, but do you have like, who are you in a relationship? I'm so interested to know. Are you hyper crazy and do you like a calm person?
Oh my God. I actually do kind of need, I usually end up complaining that they're boring, but that's what I need. I need boring.
Me too. I'm realizing I need like more calm, very calm. They have to be. I mean, you're fucking Miley Cyrus. You need like a confident guy.
Yes,
but he can't be the same level as you, like of like screaming.
No, I
and,
definitely,
like,
definitely need like a calming. I need an anchor. I need a weight. But when I was thinking about this yesterday and knowing we're gonna have this conversation, I was thinking about someone has to bring more to the table than their plate. They can't just be like, fill me up all the fucking time.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big part of my life is filling people back up. And that can make me go below zero, below E. And so it's really important that I feel fulfilled. And they have to bring something to the table.
Do you think it's like hard because of how mega successful you are? Like, how the fuck are you, like, how would you ever date a normal person? You can't. So
well,
like,
I think that's what ended up making like female relationships make more sense to me because
Yeah.
like the role that I was in made more sense.
oh, that's interesting.
Because it was like, well, there's not going to be this weird thing that like I pay for everything and I whatever. And then I was like,
Right.
but that's just like a stereotype too. Like if I'm going to be with a girl, like I'm totally down to be with like a boss bitch that's like as successful or more successful than me. That's
Yeah.
cool too. But I felt like the women that I ended up being around, it like the role fit easier for me because like even in my relationship with men, a lot of the times like I kind of hold a more dominant,
right. You have the power.
like,
you wear the pants a little
more
bit.
dominant
Yeah.
space.
Well, how
And
could you
so
not?
It felt like that made it less uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And then it felt like I was choosing partners out of anxiety, which is like so much to do with like
Yeah.
my therapy journey too, because I don't want to choose who I'm going to be with out of like anxiety
not
or
wanting to be
fear or
alone.
stereotype, because that's like not anything that I represent or believe in is like
Right.
the stereotype. So it's like I need to find a guy that's confident enough in himself that he's okay that I am kind of
you
like
are.
masculine and strong, and just like there's a lot of qualities to me that tend to like associate more with the male role, and that's just bullshit.
I agree. I think it's kind of beautiful that you've been like, and so I'm okay right now being like, yeah, it works better with a woman. And if I can find a man that can be accepting of that, great. But for right now, for you, the female relationship is working better.
Yeah, it just made a lot more sense like at a time. And then like what's funny about that too is like I guess I've just have been very experimental. Like I've been with a lot of different kinds of like dudes and chicks. Like I've been with like super femme girls,
Yeah.
girls that kind of make me feel more femme. Like I just really don't have a type. The main thing for me is that someone has to bring something that is elevating my life.
Yeah.
And like that's in all my relationships, not just my sexual relationships.
Totally. Yeah, you need people that are going to be just like as powerful in a room. They don't have to be as successful. They don't have to have more money, but you don't want to feel like you're like dragging this person and giving this person and you're not getting filled up. That's awful. Do you know what your love languages are?
I do.
Don't you love like finding out people's love languages? Okay, wait, tell me.
So my love language kind of makes me sound like an asshole, but it's not. It is acts of service.
Oh wait, I thought no, gifts is more asshole.
Yeah, gifts are crazy.
You're like, bitch, give me a Chanel now.
I hate gifts.
Okay, me too.
I really don't like gifts.
Cringe, right?
Okay. Yeah, that's so embarrassing. I don't know what to do with my face. Don't know what to do with my hands. I hate gifts. But I like acts of service because I would say that on the giving and the receiving end. Like if someone that I'm with tells me like my closet's driving me crazy, it's totally unorganized, by the time they're home the next day I've already dealt with it. I'm like that. I really love to do things for people. Or if someone says that anything, like I remember one boyfriend I had, like I think you thought it was really weird that I made him a bong for his birthday.
Oh my God, how sweet.
And I like handmade this like bong, and then he thought it was kind of weird, but it's like I would rather someone make something for me, and like that to me is like an act of service. Like I took time.
Wait, this is so fascinating also talking to you about this, because just based off of everything we're talking about, you're talking about the way you give love. And then there's two ways. How the fuck, Miley, here we go. Okay. How do you receive love?
So receiving, I also really, really like.
You like when people do stuff for you.
I like acts of service.
Okay.
Even though I feel like an asshole, but I do like when people do things for me. And then my other one is.
There's physical touch, words of affirmation, quality time.
I like quality time.
Quality time.
Quality time is my other one.
Yeah.
But quality, emphasis on quality. Like, not just time.
Right.
I don't want you just, like, to fill the space.
Right.
I want you to bring something to the fucking table. And that is what I, like, really demand now as, like, I'm getting older.
Yeah.
I allowed so many people to just come and, like,
bullshit
add their
your time.
toxic fucking breath to my air. And like, suck out the life of my spaces. And, like, I'm just over that.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, like, how I think a lot of people I always talk about it because it's like, I love to talk about sex, but I also like to talk about, like, everyone has been through shitty relationships. Everyone's been through heartbreak. And, like, is there a little, like, tip you can give anyone listening to, like, getting through any heartbreak? We've all been through relationships that we break up. Like, have you found your...
Okay, so I had a very public,
of course,
very, big breakup that was over a 10-year span of a relationship. And sitting with me now, I would hope you find me to be somewhat this way, which is not the public perception, is I'm very logical. I'm very organized.
You are.
And like very kind of center. And so I love lists. Lists keep my whole fucking world on track. My world would be wrecked if I didn't make lists.
That's brilliant.
Every day I have a list of what do I want? How am I going to achieve it? What's the next step? And so with heartbreak, I tried to not get lost in the emotion.
Smart.
And I also don't like that with women too. It's like, well, you're a cold bitch. It's like,
no.
The world is going to keep turning. It's like a death when you lose a love
Straight
that
up.
deep. Like it feels like a death. It's honestly, sometimes that even feels easier because it's more.
You can like put it to bed and move on. You know that person's still walking around.
I know.
Like that shit's
the
fucked.
person's still walking on the earth and choosing every day because it's a choice.
Right.
Death isn't a choice.
Right.
And this is a choice. So to not get lost in emotion, to focus on the logics, is to make a list of what you were gaining and what you were losing, what they were contributing to your life and what they were subtracting, and to value each of these things by 1 through 10. So like,
Miley has it figured the fuck out.
And then you add them all up. And if the person was adding more to your life, then you know what is expected for your next relationship.
Wow.
And what they were subtracting, you know what you will not accept ever again. And so you look at these two things and you go, this is what okay, so one of the things that are really important to me in a relationship.
Yes. Other than active service.
Besides active service, I like people taking care of themselves. I think the way someone treats themselves is a reflection of the way that they'll treat you.
So true.
So I'm like super into like clean eating. I'm into people taking care of themselves. I knew that the place to meet my next partner was not going to be at like a fucking Burger King.
No.
If clean eating and self-maintenance is going to be important, I know to look in communities where those people are going to gather. I now no longer look at like any sort of AA meetings because
Right.
I myself I don't really want to help someone on their journey of
Right, you're
addiction
helping
so
yourself.
much because I need to take care of my own
Right,
self.
right.
But I do, you don't, like, as someone that's living a sober lifestyle, don't go to the club looking for your next partner.
Right.
So put yourself in places where you'll be successful so you don't get stuck on, I'm just always wasting my time with all these people.
Right.
It's like you can really control the kind of people that are going to like flow in and out of your life.
Straight
and you
up.
can create a filtration system. So I have filtered my life of what I will accept and what I will not.
I am sorry, but like you just sounded so like you have it fucking figured out, and I know you don't. But
wish.
like no, but that shit right there,
That
I'm like,
helps.
is everyone listening? Write that fucking down.
That
I'm
helps
about
with
to go back and
everything.
listen. Dude,
that
that's
helps with every single
smart.
thing, and like even people in your life. So you look at the people that like matter the most to you. Like my mom matters the most to me of anyone.
Right.
So I write down her qualities
Oh.
of what I love about her, and I try to find people like that because one day I may not have my mom on this earth, and I want to have people that like keep her spirit alive through them.
Right.
And I do think that there's little sparks of like we're all kind of one, and we've all just divided into these our own little sources of energy and like our own little souls, but we're all kind of like one in a way, I think. And so I think that I could find little pieces of her in other people.
Dude, that is like so fucking beautiful.
So I hope.
Wait, you're like fucking mature as shit. What, Miley?
I'm not in
coming
real
with
life.
the facts.
I'm not in real
Fuck.
life. I still love dicks and all the things, but I think that
right.
the idea
Right.
that like I don't know. I just think that there's a level of logic to everything and not getting lost in emotion.
That's pretty brilliant. And wait, so are you not smoking weed anymore?
I'm not smoking weed anymore.
Okay, wait. In the spirit of like being call her daddy, I always say like, okay, I think it's high sex is the best sex. Drunk sex is a fucking like it's fun sometimes, but it's just like and it's like a
I
little
can't with
like
sweat.
flaw. Yeah,
I have a
it's
thing
kind of
about
disgusting.
sweat.
So high sex can be the best sex, obviously. And obviously, if you were like smoking all the time, you were having high sex. And now that you're not, like, how are you doing?
Okay, I'm doing great.
Okay, great. Queen.
Here's the thing about this, which is really funny because like my identity is related to sex in a much deeper way than my sexuality is, if that makes any sense. So my identity and who I am as a person is very sexual.
Right.
And who I am as a sexual person is, again, maybe I'm like a selfish psycho, but like sex is really like about me in my mind.
Of course.
So everything's about me in my mind, apparently.
I won't know, but everything is about Miley, but like we can give ourselves an orgasm. So like,
but I just feel like I feel like, let me think about this. Let's think about my sex life. I get turned on by, again, like what people are like contributing to my life.
Right.
And as of right now, having someone that's also sober, like a partner, is like very sexual to me because it's very like present and very there.
Right.
But I think it's really funny how my identity is so wrapped up in sexuality when my sexuality actually just has a lot to do with like my identity and who I am as a person. Does that make any fucking sense?
Are you guys with us? You lost me a little.
It's just
I'm like,
really
hold
weird.
on.
I just think people think of me as a hypersexual being.
Right, like you're having sex all the time, 24/7.
And
like you're gonna sit on this dildo in front of my eyes.
Which I would. But like I enjoy sexuality more than I enjoy sex. That's a better way to say it.
Okay, there we go.
And I'm much more into sexuality than sex. But I also don't really fuck with foreplay because I just am too busy.
Wait, really?
I don't fuck with foreplay, as everyone will tell you, even in my business. I do not like to tease things. I like to not say shit and then fucking go for it and scare the shit out of you.
Oh my
So
God.
that's my thing. I have a lot fucking going on. I don't really have time to like sit around and flick my pussy. I really want to get the shit done and fucking get back to editing.
Wait, so what are we doing? Like throwing lube on there?
We're throwing lube and hurrying.
Oh, like hurry.
If I'm in the mood, we're good.
Right.
I don't really need lube, to be honest.
Okay,
with you.
so like if you're
like
in the mood, stick it right in.
Just hurry.
Hurry.
I'm kind of like
How
hurry
fast?
and make it good.
Oh,
But I'm not like an old like, oh, I don't really want to have sex.
Right.
I go through seasons where like I think I can have sex with women longer than I can with men.
really?
But maybe it's because you just get in there and it's like kind of done.
Right.
And I think women are much more attractive. I don't really want to stare at a dick
Yeah,
for a long
like, get
period
that
of
thing
time.
out of my
Do you
fucking-
know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I could definitely have foreplay longer with a girl than I could with a guy.
Wow.
I don't really want to look at a penis for any longer than I have to. I think that's why I want it to go inside so it gets out of my face. I don't want it in my face.
Dude, no, I always say to girls,
I like dicks as an aesthetic.
Yeah.
I
Like,
don't
put
like
them in
dicks
sparkles.
Exactly.
Yeah. I always tell girls that are like, fuck, is it weird as shit? Like, I'm not a lesbian, but I watch girl on girl porn.
Girls
I'm like,
are way
because you
hotter.
don't want to see a fucking dick in your face.
We know this.
I don't want that.
But everyone, I think, can agree that from ancient times, that dicks make wonderful sculpture.
Beautiful.
But more than that, I am not as interested.
They're a little scary
I
sometimes.
like dicks as art pieces.
Yeah.
And sculptural. I love the shape. I think it like really
Such
looks
a
good
good
on
aesthetic.
a table. It's good if it can just get in and go away because I don't want it eyeing me off.
Oh, that's
how I truly feel.
That honestly is so brilliant.
I feel good about saying that.
You're like, and listen to that and I'll say it
Everyone knows that tits are prettier than balls. Everybody knows this. Sorry.
Queen.
It's fucking true.
Wait, can I ask
That's
you?
why it's all about me because I'm secretly just looking at my own body.
Right. You're like, I'm so fucking hot. Your dick is ugly, but look at this pussy.
Exactly.
And that's why it's almost hotter hooking up with
Lingerie
girls.
is for me. That's what I'm saying. It's all
because you get turned on.
I don't give a fuck. On your show, you're allowed to say it's all about me. It's all about me.
It is.
Like I want to look down and see me in my thing that makes me feel
Absolutely.
hot.
You should just masturbate in front of like a mirror all
some
the time.
Chanel underwear that are actually not even hot for like a guy. They're kind of like granny.
Right.
But they're so fashion and I'm so obsessed with them.
And so you wear them for you.
So I wear them for me. And it's like
that's amazing. Can I ask you, because I think so many fucking women like are so terrified of their like, is my vagina ugly? Like I feel like my labia lips aren't as cute, or like my clit's big, or like whatever. And I'm like, no, you have to own your fucking pussy.
You just gotta become friends with yourself and like
Best
dig
friends.
yourself.
Love it.
And I also just think that there's like, if you're starting to feel bad about your vagina, just Google dicks. And you'll start feeling okay.
Wait, this is actually like kind of facts.
Yeah.
Like look at that shrivelly little thing. Especially when it's done, it's like, oh, look at him. Little baby carrot.
I know, we're not like I'm just like not that's just not my thing.
Yeah. And how did like if you've hooked up with men, can they tell that you're
I'm not as into them?
Yeah.
I think that I wouldn't be doing it if I wasn't into it.
True.
So in the moment I'm feeling it. But later
are you not giving blowjobs?
Like if the guy I've given a blowjob recently.
Okay.
But it wasn't as much fun as I thought it was going to be. It honestly just took too long.
You're like, that was
so
awful.
Fucking busy. I actually say every day, like, I don't really want to do morning sex, even though I used to really like to.
Yeah.
I don't really do it because I've got, like, when I'm thinking about the editors in New York and, like, I'm a little bit worried about them, like, you know, you saw the video that like so making sure the bubble gum looks glossy and like
that's more important.
It is more important.
It is.
And I just don't have time to sit around and like play with my vagina.
Right,
I need it to all be on my schedule.
And you don't have time then. If you don't have that, then you don't have time to suck a dick.
Because men, if they say the same thing, they're a boss, they're running their business. Like that would be. What about the men that like? These are not all men. So I'm not generalizing. But what about men that like work on their kids' birthdays? My dad had to work on my birthday. If you're a woman and you're like, listen, I don't have time to give you a blowjob because I want to work, you're an asshole. But if you don't show up to your child's birthday party because you got to get your business done, you're a boss.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
That is fucked up.
That's fucked up.
I'm glad you're like so open about this shit because I feel like there are so many fucking girls that are like, yeah, like I just like twirl on that dick and like I'm just like wild and like
I don't twirl on. I don't twirl, period, and I definitely don't twirl on that dick.
You're like, I don't do handstands.
I'm not a twirler.
Wait, okay, can I ask you what your favorite position is then?
My favorite thing is Lauren Conrad's video of CEO.
Wait, what?
So someone says, "What's your favorite position?" and she goes, "CEO."
What the fuck is that?
So she's the head boss. She's a CEO.
Oh, okay, yeah, but
that's my favorite.
Okay,
you want to know what it is?
Look at me like not getting this.
No,
like,
that's like not if you're bent over a desk. If you're sitting at the desk with your hands on the keyboard, writing an email to someone that didn't do what the fuck they were supposed to, and you're making sure that they know that that's what happened.
Wait, that's kind of
that's my favorite position.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, I kind of like love that you answered with that, and I hate that I like was like, huh? Okay, so I have questions here for you. Oh my god, this is an interesting question. Ooh.
Yeah.
Now after you like thinking about like you so you like hooking up with girls. So if you had to pick for the rest of your life,
I'm scared.
You have to pick either getting eaten out or fingered, and you can't get the other one. Which one are you getting?
I'd rather finger myself.
Okay, that's
I'm obsessed with me.
Wait.
I really am. Everyone else
like,
means
guys,
that if you're gonna get eaten out, someone else is gonna be in the room and like you're gonna feel uncomfortable. I like when
But
when
you
Megan
like
Thee Stallion says, "Stop licking my pussy hard. That shit's aggravating." Like that's really aggravating.
Yeah. Oh no. Well, because I think it's hard because it's like I feel like there's not as many people that know how to eat pussy, but fingering is so underrated and it can be so amazing. Okay, so you're going.
I'm
with
just
fingering.
like into me. I'm going with fingering, but with myself.
Yourself.
Yes.
Honestly, that is the most daddy.
My tongue
fucking
is long,
statement.
but not that long.
But honestly, like maybe you could.
If I could remove a rib, maybe.
Do you have any favorite sex toys that you can like give advice for the daddy gang to get?
Okay, so here's my advice for you, which recently got given to me, and I thought it was highly valuable.
Oh.
So I thought I would pass it down generations to generations.
Love.
So one of my main gays was over at my house helping me pick lighting for above my bed. We were like, are we going to go with a chandelier? Are we going to go with something modern? What are we going to go with? And he's like, well, you got to go with the flush mount. And I'm like, what the fuck's a flush mount? And he's like, you got to make sure it's like really tight to the ceiling because you don't want when you stand up to hit your head on the light fixture or like try to grab onto it for fun and then pull it out of the wall and then it come crashing down and part of the chandelier go through your partner's sternum. Now you're a murderer and you like thought
what?
It got so deep, but I was like, apparently he's like speaking from like, I'm guessing from trauma or experience.
He's like, this has happened to me.
So
don't
he
try
like
it.
stands up on my bed. Luckily, he's 6'2", so I did go with the chandelier, but I don't think that's going to be a problem.
Okay, great.
So he was telling me that for future reference to always be really. See that this is about a lot. This is about logic. I'm all about logic.
Here she goes.
So for particular, you got to be very particular about lighting above your bed because it's one step away from being a murderer. That's the advice that I was given.
Wait, that is really interesting.
So he said that the chandelier was like, if you grab onto it, if it comes out of the wall and you pick one of the ones that are like classic, like chandelier style, that it can come down and go crashing through the person's sternum. And that seems like a nightmare trying to explain.
Miley?
If I'm going to kill someone, it's definitely not going to be with a chandelier.
So, wait.
Even though that's kind of chic.
Is anyone following when I said, what's a good sex toy? You
said advice.
Wait.
So that was advice. My advice for you.
Okay, so I feel like everyone listening is like, okay, don't put the chandelier above the...
Yeah, don't put the chandelier just because you don't want to kill someone.
Honestly,
you don't want to hit your head. That's embarrassing.
And also, I feel like the whole murder thing, I'm just like not down.
I'm not in the
mood.
Weird. I'm already weird about getting embarrassed. Like I get embarrassed really, really easy.
Really? Wait,
and
why?
if I get like red, it will stick. Like if I get
what would you get embarrassed about? Like in the bedroom?
I just don't really ever want
like if you like accidentally queef and
crazy
you're like,
sounds.
Oh yeah,
crazy sounds.
Dude, that's so fucking worse.
Falling.
You can't.
I like am always scared that I'm gonna like roll.
I have when you fall off a bed mid-sex and
There's
you try
nothing.
to, you're like, no, let's keep it going, and it's like
I don't do falls. Like falls freak me out. I've really only fallen. Knock on wood. This is probably gonna happen to me soon. A handful of times in my life, and I'm not trying to do it.
And do you just stop? You can't continue sex.
I'll continue and try to make it a shtick because that's like.
But
that's
in your head, you're like,
that's
I hate myself.
like kind of like physical comedy in me to like be like that was on purpose. It's like a Charlie Chaplin kind of move, but no.
You're like, but no, I'm actually not enjoying this now.
I just like I would not want anything really embarrassing to happen.
I actually
killing someone with a chandelier seems really embarrassing.
I feel like that's the ultimate.
That's the ultimate.
It's not even embarrassing.
But I did
it's
think
also
it was good advice,
life-changing.
and I was wondering why I didn't think about it before.
No, I actually like I think because a lot of people don't put
have lighting over there.
Yeah.
There was a light already
That's
when
a
I
rich
moved
bitch
in,
problem.
but it was down towards the end, which I thought was okay.
Okay, yeah.
And then he was saying no because what if you go the other way? Like it's just.
That's a rich person problem.
Listen, this was apparently like a 6'4" gay guy problem. I don't think I'm ever going to get close enough to a light, but I did think it was good advice.
Okay, so everybody listening, guys, chandeliers, no fucking go. No fucking go.
Or just anything that could like, you don't want to be, you don't want to mix interior and sex.
No, that's really great advice. I honestly have never thought about that specific situation, and I'll always keep that in mind.
See, now when you walk into a hotel room and there's a fucking light above the bed, you're going to think about me and you're going to be like, no, cap the light.
Cap the light. We're done.
Yes.
Okay, what about, do you use sex toys or just your fingers?
I like sex toys. Most of my sex toys I use as I'm very contradictory. I was just saying don't involve sex and interior design, but I do like sex toys as interior design.
Okay.
So a lot of the time I'll buy a dildo and like more than about its operation, you
want it to look cute.
This is from Pleasure Chest. So this is actually like real. But I don't really want to get in there with it because I love the way that it looks on the table.
Guys, it's literally like a blue sparkly dick, and it's honestly...
It's so cute.
It's really cute.
It's really, really cute.
It's really cute.
So I'm really into dildos for interior design, and I buy them for myself, but I end up using them for interior design.
So like you're like, I'll probably use that one day, and then you end up just putting it out in like your family room.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Do you like vibrators?
I like vibrators. But I really just like mostly aesthetic, and I feel like I'm like pretty good with like dealing with myself.
Wait, that's pretty great.
Yeah.
And how do you when do you think you got super, like you said you've always been confident, but do you think you've always been like super confident sexually within yourself?
I've gone through a lot of seasons. Like I feel like it's very reflective of where I am, and if you talk to me in a year, which we should talk this again when I'm not busy, because when I'm not busy, my sex drive is totally different.
Really?
And I think that's something like
it goes up.
Also with women, when I'm working, it goes down because I'm like so in my zone of working that you're kind of like,
I don't have time for
one. I did read an amazing book about kind of like adrenals and your hormones, and I have low cholesterol, and when you have low cholesterol, it affects your sex drive. And when I'm like working, I don't eat as regularly, then my cholesterol gets low. Your cholesterol controls all the hormones in your body. So when you get low blood sugar, low cholesterol, not eating like snacks and things like that.
Yeah.
By the end of the night, if I'm hungry, I'm definitely not horny.
Wait, that's why I never even knew that. That's really good information.
You got to check your cholesterol.
So people, guys, cholesterol. That, and I mean,
guys,
it sounds
I'm
like
really
a fat
logical.
person problem, but like,
really
dude, that's really smart because like I feel like there are so many girls like, why am I like never horny? And like, check your cholesterol.
You
Apparently, Miley says check your cholesterol.
It creates all your hormones and it'll change your life. Sometimes I will like, okay, what is fucked up is if I will eat like something like crazy, like I'm like, fuck this, I've been working all day, I'm ordering like a shit ton of Mexican food.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden I get horny. I'm like, horrible timing. Like I was looking so hot
and then you're
all day long.
Bloated as fuck.
But then it's my cholesterol goes up and my blood sugar.
And then you're like, I'm gonna go poop. I can't have sex right now. I don't
Sometimes
feel
you
hot.
just gotta knock it all out.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta do it all. Wow. Okay, wait. This is kind of like a really interesting question that like is kind of turning. But like, how many times have you been in love?
How many times have I been in love? I've been in love 3 times.
3.
I've been in love 3 times.
Wow.
But I've been in love more than in love with anyone else one time.
Wow.
And then I think that kind of sticks around.
Yeah.
But I've been in love with, I would say, one person who is a girl that I still think about and like dream about all the time. But you just know that something just doesn't fit. And I think that's something that I learned a lot in therapy too. Like you just can't try to fit this fucking square into a circle because you start driving yourself to a place where like trying to make something that is physically impossible work will drive you insane.
That is like so fucking mature of you to say that because I think that sometimes when there's love, it's really hard to walk away from something even if it's not working. But the fact that you can sit here and be like, I'm in love, like I love that person.
I also don't believe in one true love.
Me either. Fuck
I don't
that.
believe in one
Fuck
true love.
That. Fuck no.
Because there are qualities that people bring to your life that one
Totally.
person never will again or one like they're just I don't believe in one true love.
The fact that your answer to if you want to get eaten out or fingered and you said I want to get fingered but I also want to do it my fucking self.
Yeah.
Miley fucking Cyrus.
Dude, this is the way it rolls. If you want something done right, do it the fuck yourself.
Did you guys fucking hear that?
That's what I'm saying.
That's
Otherwise,
the fucking tea.
You're gonna have to like give notes and give feedback.
And get the fuck
I also
out
don't want to like give someone a pat on the back after. It's honestly not that hard.
And it's not that hard. And also, I could probably do it better.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I just can't reach.
Wait. Okay. So your new song,
sex and interior design go actually really hand in hand.
I love how you keep saying interior.
Here's the thing about it. I love interior design. Here's the thing about it. My only problem with not being able to do interior design by myself is a lot of the times I can't reach. But otherwise, I could do it all myself.
You're kind of like the woman that does it all. So you're like, just get a fucking ladder.
Just get a ladder.
Like if you could get a ladder, then you would do
about ladders. I'm scared of heights. I'm scared of heights. I hate flying.
Wait, can
I
ask
have people
you?
ask to move. Like people won't sit by me on the plane.
Wait, really?
Swear to God.
Wait,
this
why?
one woman was sober and started drinking beers ferociously because I was screaming that we're not getting enough speed. And so she ordered a beer.
We're not getting enough speed, sir.
Do you ever feel like you are? Don't you hate when you get up in the air, then all of a sudden it feels like they go, and I can feel like I'm like,
Wait,
I don't.
do you fly commercial?
Yeah, and I hate flying.
How does that go?
Apparently not so well because I'm like boycotted by, I've actually, I was on a no-fly list for a second, and I'll show you because everyone assumed I was just going to bring in drugs.
Wait.
But then I fixed it. I could only go into work, basically. So, yeah, the flying gets a little sketch because I get searched, like, extra crazy.
I think that's literally the complete opposite of what I thought.
Oh,
you're
no.
like, yeah, it's hard because people come up to me. You're like, I can't because they think I'm
search me.
bringing
They
drugs.
just assume that I'm bringing drugs.
Wait, what? And but you can fly kind of like people don't come up to you like too crazy, like
Some
attack you.
people bug me. I actually like people not treating me special.
Yeah.
So I had a guy on a queen on Delta the other day that treated me like shit, and I loved him.
Wait, you're like, I'm horny.
Yes,
I'll actually fuck you. Wow.
He was like mad at me because I was watching my HGTV too loud, and I could never hear him when he was asking me things, and he was annoyed, and I loved him. He was mean to Bradley too. He was mean to you.
Wait, that's kind of amazing.
We won him over.
You're like,
we won him over.
Fucking
but this
love
queen
this.
on Delta was so fucking mean to me, and I like wanted to give him the biggest hug for it, but he did not want to hug from me.
But you're like, I love you. He's like, bitch, what are you talking about? I hate you.
Yeah, he did not like me.
Wow.
But I loved him.
Okay, so you're afraid of
I hate
heights.
when people are like treat people special.
Me too.
I'd rather like, I definitely treat the people that are like the lowest on the call sheet better than I would at the top.
I have so much respect for you
because so many people already fucking do that for the people at the top. You don't need me to jerk you off. Everyone else is.
boom. And I think it's also refreshing because like you are so like, I mean, sitting here with you, I'm like, you're so normal that
the tree's getting gorged, by the way.
I know,
it's
guys.
Like
wait,
like
do we look so
party.
hot in these cameras right
yes,
now?
This is
Miley's
the
tits are popping. We're ready.
This is the tea.
Can you just because it's like my childhood and I'm thinking about it. Sorry, I just pulled this. Do you now feel like you're in a place where like you can accept Hannah Montana and you look back and you enjoy it? Because honestly, your throwbacks are fucking everything.
I'm obsessed with it.
Wait, right?
They taught me how to glue my fucking wig down.
Oh, wait, yeah, the extensions.
I was already so ready for this world.
Yeah,
you know,
literally.
they prepared me in a way that you cannot pay money for.
Yeah, no,
my wig was snatched at like age 11. What were you doing?
Bitch, you were literally in it. Everyone wanted your hair.
I love that there's this video of me and I'm probably like 12 and I'm going through my fucking tour bus and I have a shirt that says just got off the catwalk and I'm talking about how it's my favorite. And then I turn around and I'm like, and that's my wig. And I'm like, what 11-year-old do you know that has
hey guys, that's my
real
wig.
hair lace front sitting on a mannequin head with just like it was a dream.
No one,
it was
Miley.
a dream life.
That is kind of wild.
It seemed like a nightmare when I wanted to escape it, but that's just being 18. Like you want to escape who you are, even if it was just someone from
well, and sometimes you just need a little bit of distance to then like appreciate it. And obviously during bangers and stuff, you're like, stop calling me fucking Hannah Montana.
That's been the same way in relationships too. Like at first when I got out of my long time relationship and it didn't work and that was really like traumatizing also. Now I'm in a place where I just look at it and love it and like respect it. And it just is such an amazing time in my life. The relationship that I had for 10 years was an amazing time in my life. And the relationship that I had like with myself as Hannah and like all that was a great time in my life. And like I loved working with my dad every day. At the time I didn't know how lucky I was, like so all the times in my life, even the ones that have been really fucking in my mind not the best, somehow they just added up to like I love who I am so much right now that if any of those things wouldn't have happened, I'm not sure that I would be the same person. So I'm just super stoked.
Dude, that is so fucking beautiful, Miley. And I'm so happy for you. Honestly, like when you were showing me your music video, I was like, you look really happy and you're so proud of what you're doing. And like you can tell, I mean, the fucking song, guys, go listen to the fucking song because my God, it's like a little anthem. It is so fucking good.
The song is I felt like a bridge that was like really missing through my narrative for my fans and for the public. And I'm just so happy that I was able to build it my fucking self.
So dope.
Fucking water under the motherfucking bridge. Let me move on. Because also, I mean, another thing that I guess is really relevant for your show is that I feel like as a woman, I was villainized for moving on.
Yeah,
and
that's fascinating.
I really think that that's not acceptable.
Yeah.
At the time, I had posted, George Clooney and Brad Pitt and all these guys like Johnny Depp who have gone through women and they're known as like
players and amazing. Yeah, or they're like glamorized and it's like, oh, they're so hot and they're amazing and everyone wants to be with
them. One thing is like I would have much rather the public, like I guess.
Like, why are you not a
villainize me because of my sexuality, but they tried to make me seem like I was disloyal, which is like so against my fucking character. You attacked my fucking character.
Yeah.
And my character is everything that is my foundation. That's like what I thrive on, even being on your show. Like, I'm not someone that'll sit here and be like, I just sit around like watching porn and I'm so sexual and I'm like I know who I'm talking to. I know what the show is, but that's not me. Like my art and like me taking care of my dogs and me taking care of my business, like that's my fucking priority. And like I'm not gonna act like I'm something that I'm not or I'm more sexual than I am, because that's always just like that's like for your entertainment and not for me. And for me, like I'm much more into building my business right now.
That's so empowering.
Any
just
dude
also
would
like
be considered a boss for putting their business first.
And the woman second.
Like it's so fucked up. And like I love that like when I go through my neighborhood too, that like I bought my fucking house.
Yeah.
I bought my fucking car. And like I am not shaming any woman that does not like live your fucking life, do your thing. I just know that wasn't my mom's story.
Yeah.
That wasn't my grandma's story. So I'm like a first generation
you're doing it. Yeah, you're a boss.
And
you're
my mom actually at 55-year-old just bought her own car. And she started crying. She's like, your dad has always bought my car for me. her dad bought her car for her. My mom at 55 just bought her own fucking car.
How amazing is it?
She fucking loves it.
When I just like got my like first like nice apartment in New York, and I'm like, it is the most satisfying thing because I've been in a relationship with a guy that bought everything for me, and like working my ass off for a show and like being able to buy my own shit. I'm like, that feels better.
I would rather rent a fucking closet for somebody and pay for it than live in like your fucking mansion.
Right.
So I'm just so stoked. Like when I come home, it's like, I get to choose what fucking color the couch is, and I can't choose, so I picked all fucking 3 colors.
And like, that's what I want,
and
bitch.
That's what I want. And so that just feels really good. And like, so at this time, like for me, I'm just like super secure in who I am, and I just don't feel like I feel like I've like acted enough in my life, and that's
and now you're like, this is
for
me. Take
and
it.
that's too exhausting to be working all the time. But luckily, I've never really had to do that. And I've never felt like an actress. The only time that I felt like I was ever acting in my personal life is in relationships that were no longer working for me.
Yeah.
So I just encourage people to be logical. Don't don't drown in emotion. Make your fucking list. Look at what someone is contributing and what someone's subtracting to your life, and then make an executive decision.
And if you're not fucking happy, get out.
If you're not happy, get the fuck out.
Miley Cyrus, I just want to also like last comment too about what you just said, because I think that is the most empowering female statement of you being like, how the fuck was I villainized for moving on too fast?
Actually,
everybody go fuck yourself.
That's like a really big part of this song.
Yeah,
and
okay.
I just feel like the video and controlling my fucking narrative, it's unfair that someone taking a photo from a helicopter is allowed to control my narrative, but it feels below me to at that time engage in public opinion. And
dude,
it just
how do you like deal with that? It's infuriating.
I've gotten a lot of control. That's why in the song it says I can't bite the devil on my tongue.
Oh,
so
that's
it's like I'm gonna say this now.
Got it.
It's about like, you know, some people have like the devil and angel on the shoulder. The devil lives on my tongue. So usually I just lash out and say the first thing that fucking comes to mind. But it's never benefited me. And because when you think about it, and I've like now allowed life to do its magic, and I've understood its purpose. And that was just a bridge for me to get out of my situation. And like, that woman made me really happy at the time, and that was like the way that I dealt with it. And there's not a handbook. As much as I can give you advice, there's no handbook of how to deal with heartbreak. It's all very like everyone's an individual and will handle it in their own way. And so I felt like this song is like for the kind of looking at my life as my personal life, or people looking at my career. I felt like there was a gap between the public perception and the truth, and I just think it's really fucked up that women are villainized for moving on.
Dude, it is. Miley, I'm so happy you're saying that, because I think like I remember seeing that, but you articulating it in that way, it just sheds so much light on like how fucked up.
It's really fucked up.
And then you have to sit here and try not to say anything because you're trying to be above, like you said, the helicopter's above, but it's like, at what point do you speak up? And I guess what you're saying right now is through my fucking music.
Just by engaging in that pettiness, one, it isn't good enough for me.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of the thing about having standards. Like, and I like sitting here as a fucking female saying, that's not good enough for me. I won't engage in that. That's below me.
Yeah.
That is not a problem to say that. I think it's really fucked up that women have been made to feel like you're not allowed to say, this is for me. That's below me. This is what's acceptable.
Right. It's like, oh, you're being a bitch. No, I'm being a fucking boss.
That's unacceptable.
Go fuck yourself.
To fucking come and like put yourself in my life and then put me on the cross for it. Like, that's fucked up. You totally villainize me for that. But let me clap back at you when I can articulate it properly and poetically and put it in my song, and then you can stream my clap back.
Bitches, go listen to the song.
Yes.
It's so fucking good. I'm so happy for you that you are putting something out right now that you're like, oh, that's me.
Oh,
this is it. And like, people are gonna fucking love it.
It's my Debbie Harry dream.
Oh my God. So right now, when this episode is out, guys, Miley's song is out.
That's freaking me.
That is so wild.
Yeah.
It's freaking me.
Yeah,
I can't
like
believe you're fucking here. I'm here and you're putting out this song. The music video is amazing. She looks so fucking hot.
Thank you.
I was like trying not to like freak out on her
for
couch.
Halloween, please.
Guys, literally she has like 7 different looks. How many looks?
I have
6,
five looks.
Every single one Halloween looks.
Yes,
and I'm gonna do every single one.
The bodysuit is like makes you feel a type of way.
Oh,
it made me feel a type of way.
Literal sex, you guys.
Yeah.
So go Go
you
listen.
can trash the tights. That's a good thing. By the end of the
Okay,
video,
tell
they're
me.
all like ripped, which I
Okay.
thought was super hot too. And like,
And then it looks good after a party.
exactly.
It fucking works.
Exactly.
So Midnight Sky,
Yep.
out now.
Yes.
Go watch the video.
Yes.
Listen to it 19 million times.
Yeah.
Tweet us. Tell us
Yeah.
you liked the episode.
Yeah.
We love you guys. Miley Cyrus.
Thanks for coming over.
Thank
This was
you.
really fun.
This was really fun.
I really like talking about this kind of shit.
I loved having you on the show. I had so much fucking fun. You are officially a part of the Daddy fucking gang.
Thank you. Cool. That was so fun.
That was